It is a beautiful day outside, so let's go thrifting in Greece. Hello, how are you guys? I need some water. Ugh. This is the first time I've talked today and my throat is dry. Hamish is out of town today at a volleyball tournament, and so it's just me, and so of course I'm gonna be going shopping. Duh. Now, one thing that I've learned is when you are traveling, if you have the opportunity to go thrifting, 100% absolutely do it. You might just find things that you maybe wouldn't be able to find back home, and depending on where you're traveling, the styles might be different, and it's just so much fun. Specifically here in Thessaloniki, while I've been walking around, I found this one street that's got lots of thrift stores. At least I'm pretty sure they're thrift stores because the writing is in Greek, but I want to go and check them out today and try to get some things. Now, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I love to thrift. I love to thrift. It's one of my favorite hobbies. Basically, all of my home decor back home is thrifted, and pretty much all of my favorite pieces in my closet are also thrifted. And I have learned over the years how to successfully thrift, and it does change depending on where you are and how the stores are set up. But I thought I'd take you with me today for a little thrift trip, and we'll see if we get anything. I'm gonna try to be a little bit picky because everything that I thrift here, I'm gonna be having to take in a suitcase back home to Canada with me, and so I can't do too much, but maybe there'll be some good items. Now, if you watched my last video, you'd know that my closet that I packed to come here, it's all basics, but I didn't pack a lot of accessories or anything like that. And so one of my #1 tips going into a thrift day is to have a really clear goal of what you're looking for and what items you are manifesting. Basically, if you have items on a Pinterest board or that you've been wanting for a while that you're keeping your eyes out for, they're gonna appear, and that has happened to me for literally every single item I've ever thrifted. If you can envision it, you can find it. I can almost guarantee it. And so today, this list for me is mostly accessories. I also had somebody comment on my last video that one thing I should maybe be looking into is getting a pair of black or brown trousers to go with my outfits, and so I'm gonna keep an eye out for that as well. But I'm gonna be looking for scarves, hats, maybe jackets. One thing that I've also been wanting is a gray sweater. Just like a really basic oversized gray sweater that I can pair with anything, so I'm gonna be looking for something like that. Maybe even some jewelry. But if something else stands out to me, I'm not gonna be closed off to it. So let's go! The city center is a short walk from my house. It takes about 20 minutes to get there, and so it's really enjoyable for me to be going like every day into the city center. It's a good way to get some exercise. I'm also realizing I forgot my sunglasses, and so if I find a pair of sunglasses that are cute or stylish, I'm also gonna be buying those. On my walk, I got my cappuccino. I don't know how to speak Greek, but I did try to order it in Greek. It said, "Ένα cappuccino schietto," which means 1 cappuccino with no sugar. And then she asked if I wanted a single or a double in English, so obviously my Greek wasn't that good. And I said, "How do you say that in Greek?" And she said, "Mono for 1 or diplo for 2." And I just wanted a single, and so I said mono, and I'm gonna use that next time that I order one. So cheers. So it wasn't long before we came across our first thrift store of the day, and what really enticed me was these shoes in the windows. They had so many pairs of shoes, but the first spot I started looking was the jackets. They had a huge selection of jackets of all different colors, but the first jacket to really catch my eye was this jacket from Polo Ralph Lauren. It kind of looks like a trench coat, but not quite as long, and so I wasn't sure if for 30 euros I wanted to get it. And then I moved on and started looking at track pants, and I could not believe how many pairs of track pants there were. There were probably thousands of all different brands like Nike, Adidas, North Face, Columbia, everything. And there were also actually some really good looking hiking pants, and if I was back in Canada, I definitely would have considered buying these, but I just don't really have a use for them here in Greece. Here's a pair of Jordans that reminds me of a pair that I have back home, but I'm not sure if these ones are authentic. And speaking of shoes, I realized there was a downstairs, and oh my gosh, look at this room. Holy moly, there are so many different pairs of shoes and winter jackets and everything else. I did grab a couple pieces to try on, first being this striped gray sweater. I just thought it was such a classic. And this one fit the vision too. But then I grabbed this one, and I'm not sure how I feel about the asymmetric pattern, but otherwise it was
perfect. So let me know what you think. And then how flipping cute is this? So let's do a try on haul. Okay, if I was in Canada, I would definitely be buying this one because look at it. It's just so adorable. It's from H&M, which makes me a little bit concerned about the quality, but we all need a cute sweater, right? Then we've got this one, and because the material is so thin, I feel like it's not really giving the shape I was hoping for on me, but it still gets the point across. Then I've got the classic brown cardigan, and I feel like this is such a good layering piece. Otherwise, I don't have too much to say about it. Oh, but I did like how the buttons are brown and match it though. Then we've got this one, and I mean, it looks fine, but on my skin, it is so itchy. Oh, I wish you could feel how itchy it is. Then I tried these pants, which I feel like are giving painter. I don't know. Then we've got this sweater, and I love the way that it sits, but I'm still not sure how I feel about that little asymmetrical piece of it. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I should get it? It costs €6, and if you're curious, I'm gonna show you everything that I purchased at the very end after I visited all the stores. Spoiler alert, I did get some things, so let's head to the next store. This is the next store that caught my eye, and so let's head in. Immediately, a lot of the same vibes of the other store, but one thing that I like that this store did is they organized a lot of their stuff by color. One thing that I immediately noticed about this store though is that they had lots of big name labels mixed in with the regular stuff, and I think lots of it is counterfeit, like this Burberry jacket that has the name spelled wrong. And right next to it was also this Chanel jacket and a Louis Vuitton one as well. But one thing that did catch my eye was this Montclair jacket. I've been looking for a jacket to wear on my runs, and this one looked pretty good. Also, the branding was a lot more consistent and looked a lot better than on lots of their other items. So maybe it's real, I don't know. But one thing I have never seen before is the North Face Gucci cardigan. Take a look at that. Tempting, I know, but here's some of the other stuff that the store had. Down the stairs, there was even more stuff than there was on the main level, including some stuff like leather jackets, which I actually ended up avoiding. I was looking for a leather jacket last week, but I found lots of them smelled like cigarettes, and that just gives me a headache, and so I avoided that. And instead, I ended up buying one that was brand new from Mango that I'm actually wearing today, and it's a faux leather jacket. But then I found these brown trousers, so let's try them on. Okay, I'm a big fan of a low-waisted trouser. I've been looking for a pair, and I feel like these are almost exactly what I'm looking for, but there's one thing that I'm facing that I'm not too sure how I feel about, and it's the length. Are these too short on me? I don't know. That is an issue that I never ever face, but I feel like they might just be like a little bit short. And then I had to try on the Montclair jacket, and I kind of like it. I don't know. I feel like this could work well for a run. And then I almost walked past this building because it looked super dark until I saw the sign that said Vintage Closet on the 4th floor, and so I had to go in.
Wish me luck. This is the darkest staircase. There are no lights in here, but I just saw a guy walk out with a bag that said the branding on it, so hopefully it's still gonna be there. What have I gotten myself into?
I think I found it. This looks like the right place. And look! Okay, this place is good. Right off the bat, you could tell that this store was a lot different than the other ones that I had visited. It had really quality items with brand names. It was very curated, and all of the items seemed to be really high quality. These are a couple Burberry items I was eyeing up. There's this gorgeous green sweater, and then look at this scarf. I feel like this is just perfect. I love it. You could just tell that the vibe of this place was really cool. The crowd in there was very hipster, very young and modern, but you could tell that everybody had an amazing sense of fashion. It was a bit more expensive, but definitely the price was justified.
Alright, so that actually turned out to be one of the coolest thrift shops that I've visited here yet. The cool thing about that one was that it was very curated, and you could tell that they really put a lot of thought into the selections that they were putting on the store. I actually was talking to some of the workers there, and they were so kind. They were letting me know that it was a clearance event today, and so if I were to come back another day, it would look a little bit more organized or be a better representation of the store. But what I found there was the prices were a little bit higher, but I can see why. They had very beautiful brand name pieces like Burberry, and they also had lots of dead stock items, and I think that's a place that I'm gonna go back and check every now and then, because obviously it looked really busy, so I'm guessing that they're moving lots of products, but I liked the stuff that they had. I also realized I probably could have definitely taken an elevator and then avoided this, but it's good to get the steps in. If you're looking for shopping that's not as much of a thrift vibe, there's a really good street in Thessaloniki that you can do it, and I'm on that street right now. Now forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong because I have no idea how to properly say it. I think it's Smisky Street, but it has got everything. Mango, H&M, Zara, all of the stores that you know behind me. There's a Bershka, which I just checked out for the first time the other day. And there's tons of options here if you're looking for new stuff. This is what I would call the really popular street. And to explain how this street is set up, it's basically parallel to the waterfront. And then a couple streets back is where I just was, and that's where you're gonna find all of the thrift stores that I just showed you. And so I'm gonna go for a little bit of a walk here because I'm already in the area. I might as well check it out. I don't know if I'm the only person like this, but thrifting seems to wear me out really fast. I really look through every single item and it takes a lot of mental capacity to be processing everything, especially since there's usually loud music playing, there's tons of different things, every single thing is different. It's not like you're looking at a rack of the same thing in different colors. And so I'm gonna take a bit of a break. I'm at the square right now. It is this beautiful center where everybody meets and drinks coffee, and lots of tourists come here for good reason though, it's beautiful. But I'm gonna show this place to you while I'm here.
While walking, I found this alleyway that seemed to be a type of flea market. People were selling both new and used items here, including these little socks. I had to take a look at them because they were knitting them right on site and they were just so cute. And then by this point, I was really starting to get tired, but I couldn't say no to a couple more stores that were right along the way. This store had a gorgeous selection of knitwear and jackets. And then I also popped into this store too, which is the first store I saw that had a selection of vintage fur coats, as well as they had a ton of puffer jackets and vests like this one here.
I am starting to feel a little bit of the exhaustion from all of the thrifting I've been doing. So I'm gonna go head home and grab myself some lunch, and I'll see you guys later. I'm home and I cannot wait to show you what I got. Now before I show you what I got, I do want to say this was more going thrifting for the experience versus going thrifting to get the item, if that makes sense. I just kind of wanted to see what the thrift atmosphere really was like in Thessaloniki, and I'm pretty happy with it. And at the same time, I'm a little bit confused because there are lots of shops that say outlet shops, vintage shops, thrift shops, and then there are some that are listed completely in Greek, and I don't know if there's a difference between them or if they're the same. So some of them might have been in different categories than others, but I tried my best to showcase the different types of stores that you can access. But I'm rambling right now, so let's just show you what I got. I did end up getting some items and I'm so pumped about them, so let's start. The very first item I have is from the first shop that we went to. I ended up getting the Montclair hoodie. I'm gonna show you what this looks like on, but I've recently picked up running. Actually, I picked it up in June, but then I took a break and I'm starting again now because I'm thinking maybe I want to run a half marathon or even a full marathon next summer, or before I'm 30 at least, which I've got time for. But when I went running the other morning, it was pretty chilly out. I noticed it'd be nice to have something that could cover me up without being really hot, and I think this would be perfect for that. This is what it looks like on. Now I will say I do not know if this is authentic or not. It does have a lot of markers that it could be, but at the same time I have no idea about the brand Montclair. I just thought this was really cute and would serve its purpose well for me. So this is it. I think it's gonna be the perfect addition for runs. I'm just wearing a sports bra because my t-shirt had these patterns underneath, and this is kind of thin, and so you can see the patterns through it, and so this way you can see it a little bit better. Moving on to the next item. This next item is just a basic. This is a beautiful brown cardigan. I feel like you can never go wrong with a good cardigan. I think this one is just a fall staple. I checked to see what the composition was on it and I couldn't find it, and there's no tag that says what it's made of, but it feels like wool, so who really knows. It also doesn't have a brand name, but I feel like you just can't go wrong with a cardigan, which is why I also got this. This is just the most darling cardigan that I've ever seen. The details with these little flowers are so dainty and girly, and I always find pairing a cardigan with a dress can be really flattering if the cardigan goes well with the dress, but finding a cardigan that matches the vibe of the dress can be difficult, and so going with a more feminine style like this one is often a really good choice, and I own lots of dresses, and so this is gonna be the perfect pairing piece, and I just think it's the cutest thing ever. Also, I didn't mention prices. The Montclair jacket I got for 15 euros. The last cardigan that I just showed you was 6 euros, and this one was 7 euros. But you cannot tell me that this is not just the cutest thing. I'm so in love. But I have to show you my favorite thing of all. When I was at the street market, there were these sweet older women that were selling a variety of things, but one of the things they were selling were hand knit socks or slippers, and I just thought they were the cutest things ever, and they were making them right there, and so I got a pair. Look at how adorable these are. These were hand knit there at the market. I got these for €5, and it actually is the perfect thing because I didn't mention this earlier, but when I arrived here, I immediately started missing my slippers. I'm a big slippers girl. I wear them all the time, and I did bring a pair of slippers, but they were kind of like sandal slippers, and they were open-toed, and my feet are getting cold because it's getting colder outside, and I really was missing my Ugg Tasmans, but I wanted to look for a pair of slippers just to keep my feet warm. And these are them. How adorable are these? I'm gonna be the coziest girl in all of Thessaloniki. There were some items that I picked up and I really loved, like that sweater with the skiers on it, for example, that I didn't end up getting, and I'm having a little bit of regrets about that one. I might go back and see if it's still available later on. But one thing I live by if you're gonna go thrifting is if it's not perfect, don't buy it. Yeah, it might fill that void in the closet that you've been looking for, but you're probably gonna end up replacing it as soon as you have the chance, versus if you wait and you have patience, which I know can be hard, until you find that piece that's perfect in every way, you're gonna save so much money in the long run, and it's just so satisfying. It feels like you won the lottery when you get a good piece. So if you're ever gonna come to Thessaloniki, consider thrifting here because the market is amazing. Anyways, I have a pizza in the oven and it just finished and it is looking so good. So I'm gonna leave you for this time, but I hope to see you again next week, and thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye!